portraying the life story of your loved one. Learn more at haverstockfuneralhome.com or stop by 602 Maple Avenue, LaPorte.
Parents, as your children prepare to return to school, make sure they're up to date on routine immunizations. Vaccines help keep your child healthy, protect other students, and have even put an end to some diseases. So, before school begins, remember to start smart. Schedule your child's appointment today and make routine immunizations part of your back-to-school checklist. A friendly reminder from the Indiana Department of Health. Learn more at startsmart.health.
Opinion of 96.7 The Eagle, Spoon River Media LLC, or the sponsors. The Liquor Vault on-air line is now open for your calls or texts at 219-362-0522. This is Sound Off on 96.7 The Eagle.
Hello, friends. Today is Friday, July 29th. It's good to have you here. My name is Nate Laux. You're listening to the Sound Off radio show only on 96.7 The Eagle and 96.7theeagle.com. If you're listening online, glad to have you as well. You know, it's always a joy to have guests in the show, but particularly ones that are friends of mine. I am glad to have with us today my friend, the City Council President, owner of Duneland Media, maybe a world record holder in something that we've not discovered yet, Tim Franke. Hi, Tim.
Well, thanks, Nate. What an intro. I appreciate that and your kind words. Happy Friday. It's a beautiful Friday, and I'm looking forward to Lake Fest this weekend. I hope to see a lot of people out there. I'm sure there will be a lot of people out there, but there's some great activities planned.
Yeah, and so Duneland Media is one of the sponsors as well. So you are out there not only as a city council person, but also as Duneland Media. Lake Fest is this weekend. I imagine there's going to be a lot of people out there. I think it's his second Lake Fest or third?
It's the second.
Yeah, and so I imagine a lot of people are going to be out there. I know Dennis Siddell will be out there broadcasting today, and Rick Anthony will be tomorrow from our stations. And so stop out and say hi to them as well. Now, you've got somebody with you, Selah Brooks. Hi, Selah. How are you?
Hey, what's up, Nate?
Selah, you are a member of LaPorte's Diversity and Inclusion Committee. Let's talk a little bit about your story. Are you from LaPorte? How'd you get here?
No, so I'm not from LaPorte. I'm actually from Cleveland, Ohio. So my dad got a job at Arconic here. So I moved here the summer of 2017. So I went to LaPorte High School for a year, played basketball recreationally. Wasn't good enough or tall enough. But I played football here in LaPorte and graduated 2018. Ran into Tim at a hiring event. Kind of swayed him a little bit and started working with Duneland Media shortly after that.
So LaPorte used to have a Human Rights Commission. The Human Rights Commission got evolved kind of into a Diversity and Inclusion Committee. And I'll ask either one of you, whoever wants to answer, what does that do? What is the purpose of that commission and committee?
Well, the reason the HRC, we kind of moved away from that is the big thing is we do not have in-house counsel or a judge that can actually hear cases. So to call it, a commission, we didn't feel it really met the criteria of that. So, we felt it was important to have a diversity and inclusion committee in the city just because, and we still see it today, there is a divide. I mean, every day I think that divide lessens a little, but in my opinion, not soon enough. And it's important for the city to be a welcoming community to anyone from any background. I think people may be different than me, but I'll respect them and hear them out, and I may be able to learn something. And
so the goal, if I can clarify some of that, is just the purpose of the commission, and say that, feel free to chime in too, is to make sure that the city is doing all that they can to represent all included groups, classes, these kind of things as well. Right. But also to make sure that again, if there's something going on or something wrong, that there is a group in the city that people can come and talk to, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. And so, being a person that's not from LaPorte, when I moved here, I didn't know anybody. I didn't know, how the city was run or anything like that. I just know when I went into high school it's a lot of cliques, right? Black kids hang out with black kids, white kids will hang out with white kids. If you're Mexican, hang out with Mexican kids. There wasn't a lot of, relationships in the school, and I think that's a problem. And one of the biggest things that I try to tell people, it's about educating, right? Like when people come to the Diversity and Inclusion Board and they want to do public comments, our job is to listen to issues, right? And for us to be educated on those issues, and same thing vice versa.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And so, Tim, you were part of this. You were the city council liaison. The city council has some ability to start commissions and things like this. Why is, as a city councilor, as the city council president, quite frankly, why is this an important thing for the city, for you to include as well?
Well, it's no secret that we want to grow LaPorte, and any city isn't going to grow that isn't a welcoming place to people of all ethnicities, all backgrounds, all communities. So we want that to be clear. We are a welcoming community, but again, I think it's important that the more people from different backgrounds that can be involved at the city level and help form where we're going forward is going to make us better overall.
So we've got City Council President Tim Franke and Diversity and Inclusion Committee member Selah Brooks on the show. If you have a question, the Liquor Vault on air line is 219-362-0522. You're welcome to call or text me. You can also email me at soundoff@967theeagle.com. Hey, I want to shift gears a little bit, because one of the other things I want to talk about is I read recently just about how the council makes decisions, these kind of things. I want to talk a little bit about the council, because what is the process of working together, right? So, for instance, it's a council primarily from one political party. It's all Republicans and one Democrat. But does that mean there's not much diversity of thought? How are decisions made? You've got a pretty strong mayor in Tom Dermody. But do you guys all agree on everything? Do you not agree on everything? What's going on?
Yeah, there are definitely times we don't agree on everything. But with that being said, I think looking from the outside in, we don't look like your typical government body, because frankly, we all do get along and we all do communicate with one another, keeping in mind, of course, open door policies, which state if there's more than 3 of us together, that needs to be disclosed. There's nothing, no secret meetings going on behind doors. But if, let's say I'm working on a ordinance, before I even put my time and effort into it, I'll pick up the phone and call each council member individually and tell them, what I'm thinking, and hear them out and get their input. And so I think you see most government bodies, there's usually some divide there, and usually there's a lack of communication between the members until they come to meeting time. And that's kind of the big difference there. We all get along, and I think we share a lot of common goals, but certainly we don't agree on everything. But I'm not, for me personally, to vote for 8 hours on a particular ordinance that stands no chance, it's just not worth my time. So I'd rather figure out some of these things ahead of time, and then go into forming something that I know will work.
So that's how the sausage is getting made in the city.
That's how the sausage is getting made.
All right. We've got Tim Franke and Selah Brooks here. The Liquor Vault on our line is 219-362-0522. Let's get to a caller before break. Hey, thanks so much for calling the show today. I appreciate you listening to the Sound Off Radio Show. You're on the air. What's your question?
Thank you, gentlemen, for coming on today. First of all, I'd like to make a statement before my question. I'm all for you guys eliminating the trash out of our communities. They're everywhere. They contribute very little, if anything. They generally do not pay any income tax. They don't usually have jobs, or they work for cash. They don't pay their child support. So I'm all for that. But my question is, what happened on Clear Lake Boulevard? Don't you think that is dangerously close to stepping on the takings clause of the Fifth Amendment that says you can't do that, because we all know eventually that's going to be a development property? And this could be setting up quite a precedence that the county will be attempting to do that in any way they want a property from someone that gets in their way. So don't you think this is overstepping that a little bit? Thank you.
Thanks so much for calling. Yeah, Tim, go ahead.
Thanks, and great question. I I can see where you're coming from, but I don't think that it's crossing any lines, certainly. And also, the city of LaPorte has an ordinance, which I can't quote exactly, but it's relating to number of police calls and number of incidences at a particular residence, and then there's certain powers that the city's given to be able to handle problem homes that the house you're referencing, I know, falls into. This house in particular, I mean, for years, it's a regular visit by our police department, and frankly, I think it's been a drug house for far too long, and it's not helping anyone. It's harming a lot of people, and I'm glad to see it go.
Yeah, there is a law, and I can't remember. It was either in late 2020, maybe, that was added, which is a nuisance neighbor law. Other cities I know have this as well, but I don't know what the exact stipulations were, and maybe you can correct me, or maybe City Attorney Nick Otis can text one of us. But it's one of those things where if the police are called out to a residence, let's say 6 times in 6 months or something, I don't know the exact, but a certain amount of times in a certain amount of,
right.
Then the code enforcement people can essentially go through the legal processes of evicting those people as a public nuisance.
Correct. And it certainly doesn't happen overnight. It's not, hey, we don't like what you're doing, we're going to kick you out. It doesn't work that way. There is a long, lengthy legal process, which, frankly, is part of the reason why this has gone on for so long with this particular house. But we did follow that process, and I think it's going to do nothing but positive things to improve that Clear Lake area.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks so much for calling, Steve. We've got Tim Franke here on the show today, City Council President for LaPorte. We've got Selah Brooks, who's a member of the LaPorte Diversity and Inclusion Committee. If you have a question, 219-362-0522. You're welcome to call or text me, or you can email me at soundoff@967theeagle.com. I'd love to hear from you as well. Hey, we're going to take our first break of the day and be right back here, only on 96.7 The Eagle.
For over 50 years, LaPorte has trusted Cannon's Automotive Service for prompt, efficient, same-day service. And that same Cannon's commitment extends to area businesses who rely on a fleet of one or many to take your goods or service to the customer. Whether it's the truck or trailer that needs maintained or fixed, trust Cannon's Automotive to maximize your productivity with same-day service. Now with 2 Cannon's locations, 710 Tyler Street and 909 Boyd Boulevard.
With Cannon's Automotive, we fix everything.
All makes, all models, all at low auto park pricing at Auto Park Ford in LaPorte. Save gas and money in a low-mileage 2019 Ford Escape from only $279 a month. $279. Come find the exact vehicle you've been looking for today. We have a huge selection of pre-owned vehicles. It's not just a dealership. It's an auto park. Auto Park Ford in LaPorte. AutoParkFordLaPorte.com. 19 Escape 19.9, 500 down, $579 a month, 84 months, 5% APR, plus tax tag title to qualified buyers. 0 down and 0% financing now at Auto Park Ford in LaPorte. Brand new F-150s, Explorers, Edge, Expeditions, Mustangs, Escapes, Broncos, and more. 0 down and as low as 0% financing. Choose from over 100 new Fords in stock. Plus, a huge selection of quality pre-owned vehicles. It's not just a dealership. It's an auto park. Auto Park Ford in LaPorte. AutoParkFordLaPorte.com. 22 Escape, 3540 down, 540 a month, 66 months, 0% APR, plus tax tag title to qualified buyers.
My name is Bill McQueen, and I own Perry Acoustics, a construction company here in the great state of Indiana. Each year, some construction companies misclassify their employees as independent contractors and illegally pay them cash under the table. That puts companies like mine that pay a good living wage and employee benefits at a major competitive disadvantage. These companies rob our state of over $400 million a year. Imagine what could be done for Hoosiers with that money.
Visit indianacip.com/tax fraud to learn how together we can tell them to stop stealing from Hoosiers.
Paul's Auto Yard in Westfield is paying top dollar for junk cars and scrap metal, including copper, brass, and aluminum. Drive it in or have them haul it away for you. Put some fast cash in your pocket and get rid of that junk car, running or not. Need a part for your car or truck? You can pick and pull from any of Paul's Auto Yard locations. Paul's Auto Yard has been in the business for over 45 years and will beat anyone's price. Hey, don't take my word for it. Give them a call today, 219-785-2613. That's 219-785-2613.
It's Food Truck Thursdays at Sowers Buick GMC. Bring your family and friends out to enjoy these local food trucks only at Sowers Buick GMC, 1900 East Lincoln Way in LaPorte. Help Sowers Buick GMC support our local economy and fill your bellies while you visit. It could be pizza, it could be taters and walleye, or it could be hot dogs, but you won't know unless you follow them on Facebook for dates and times. So make sure to check out Sowers Buick GMC Facebook page for more information.
Honey, there's a guy outside our house staring at us.
Hey, can I help you?
Nah, I'm just admiring how awesome your landscaping looks. Where'd you get your mulch and that river rock?
Well, thank you. It all came from Pavey Excavating and Stone Yard. They're on Ohio Street, just east of Boyd Boulevard in LaPorte.
Tempt your neighbors into admiring your property. Shop Pavey Excavating and Stone Yard for your mulch, gravel, river rock, black dirt, and landscaping needs. Pavey Excavating and Stone Yard in LaPorte. Family owned and operated. Digging the good earth since 1954.
Hey, who's hungry? Because I've got a deal for you. Dennis Adele here to introduce you something new to the Morning Mayhem. Every weekday at 6:55, it's Denny's Diner. Yep, Joe and I will cook up some trivia questions, and if you have the correct answer, you'll be the winner of a $20 gift card from either JJ's Side Out Bar and Grill, the Burger Barn Grill, JJ's Pizza Shack, Wanna Pizza, or Nowhere Barn Grill. So join us weekdays for Denny's Diner at 6:55 on the Morning Mayhem for your chance to win here on 96.7 The Eagle.
We're waiting to hear from you. Dial or text 362-0522 and let us know what you think. That's 362-0522. Back to Sound Off on 96.7 The Eagle.
Welcome back to our segment of Sound Off here, our second segment. We've got on the show here City Council President Tim Franke, also Selah Brooks, member of LaPorte's Diversity and Inclusion Committee. I want to talk a little bit more about the Diversity and Inclusion Committee because I want to know, for you, again, Selah, you're not an employee of the government. Mm-hmm. You work privately. So when somebody's asking you to be on this commission,
yeah,
why are you interested in it? You know, you're a person of color, these kind of things. But
right.
Why was it so interesting for you to want to be on this commission?
Yeah, so for me, it's just a lot of people, I think, they mention, the city needs to do this, or I don't like this about the city, and, so on and so forth. But, as a person of color, my wife is Mexican, our baby's not white, you know what I mean? I want to be able to make a difference in the community. I live here, work here, and I want it to be better for my child growing up here, because I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. And when I first moved to LaPorte, I ran into a lot of racial issues that we can talk about later. Mm-hmm. But it didn't make me feel welcome. It didn't, coming from a city from Cleveland where I was around a bunch of black kids every single day, to where I'm going to a school where it's so diverse. I know what that felt like, and I want to be able to make a difference and be able to be a part of some change for my kid. So, again, to your point, I think it's important for people to know we're not, we're doing this because we care. We're not politicians. We don't have political aspirations. We're in the community, live here, and we're doing it because we care. We're volunteering our time to try to, do our part in making LaPorte better.
So then, again, it's not a human rights commission. Human rights commissions historically are commissions. There's one in Michigan City. There's an Indiana Human Rights Commission. So if there is a human rights violation that somebody sees locally, there's always the one at the state level that they can apply to. But you're not investigating things, right? Mm-hmm. You're not doing what a human rights commission does, is investigating human rights violations.
Right.
What is it then from your angle? What good are you hoping to see come out of the Diversity and Inclusion Committee?
So I'm thinking, we want to be able to be that touch point in the community, right? So, if you're having problems with discrimination, I think that was one of the biggest things. If, you got to try and get into an apartment but you feel like you can't live there because someone's discriminating against you. I want to be the committee where people can bring those issues and know that they're heard, and we can basically push people to the certain channels that they need to take or steps that they need to take to get help. And I think we were talking about this before. Government don't always move at the speed that you want it to, right? And I want people to be like, you know what, this is happening in the community. we should take this to the diversity and inclusion board, right? Like we want to be that first thing that people think about when they have a problem or an issue.
So what are some of the things in the year or two, I don't know how long it's been, but what are some of the things that you guys are hearing from the community, maybe some issues or some problems that the community is having? What are some in general those things that you're hearing?
Yeah, so being on the fact that like we're a fairly new board, so we haven't had a lot, especially during COVID. So one of the issues we had was, we had some kids that went to LaPorte High School for Black History Month. They felt like they didn't get the attention that it deserved, right? And so, coming from a school where I went to Cleveland, or I lived in Alabama, Black History Month is very important. And for Black History Month, we talk about the same people. Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, right? Colin Powell. But nobody really touches on it, right? It's just kind of set it and forget it. So they created a mural for Black History Month. And some people didn't like it, but we thought that, young kids that want to make a difference, I think, in a positive way, that should be applauded. So they came to the Diversity and Inclusion Board, and not only did they tell us why they felt it was important to do that, but they told us how it made them feel by doing that. Like we felt like, we left that so when kids come into high school after us, they can see that and know that LaPorte High School accepts Black History Month. So, we've had some of those cases. We had a case where, a guy who, he lives here, works here, came to the Diversity and Inclusion Board, had 2 daughters, and certain issues that was going on where he didn't feel like he was being welcome in LaPorte or, people that look like him. So, and as we grow, we know other things are going to come. So, again, I want to talk, this word is thrown around sometimes in politics and things like this idea of representation. Mm-hmm. And I think what you were speaking of a little bit with the school system is this idea of representation, right? You came to LaPorte. There's around about 3%, I think, of LaPorte are black, and then I forget how many are Latino, these kind of things. But it's predominantly a white community, correct? Yeah. So when you see representation like that, a mural or something, as a person of color, what does that mean for you? Well, I mean, it makes me happy. It's progress, most definitely. You know what I mean? Because that wasn't there. And the thing is, for me, I graduated in 2018, so it's not like I've been out of high school for 10 plus years, right? So before, we had a tiny little hallway with some pictures on it, and it wasn't like, Bob Ross painted some pictures, man. It was like internet printed clip-offs in a little case. And I just walked past that, hey, what's up, Martin? That was it. But now to see that progress, it made me feel good. Now, because like I said, I know what it felt like being a kid from out of the city that didn't know anybody and going to a school where, everybody didn't look like me. Okay, we're making progress here. It made me feel good.
We have Tim Franke, City Council President, and Selah Brooks, member of the LaPorte Diversity and Inclusion Committee, on the show today. If you have a question, 219-362-0522. You can call or text me. Tim, this is a question for you. You might be able to answer. It's kind of shifting gears a little bit about business in the city. A few weeks ago, this is a question from our text line. Thanks so much for texting us here. Email line. A few weeks ago, I found out when it came to replace my water main that the city water pipe from the street main to the curb stop was a lead water line. So for 13 years, me and any guests could have been possibly getting lead poisoning. Why isn't the city doing more to replace these water lines, such as like Benton Harbor or Flint, Michigan has done?
Well, we're doing a lot to do that, to the tune of about $50 million, which we bonded out last year. And there's certainly a ton of progress being made on that. But I can tell you, Tim and Jerry at the Water and Wastewater Department do an excellent job. There are strict tests that go into water that's coming into your home, and these levels are tested daily. I understand if you're saying it's coming from the road to your house, that could be a different case. But we also do go into houses with similar lines like that and test and make sure, from time to time in random samples that water is clean and good to drink. And I can tell you our water standards are excellent. Learning, that's been something I never expected coming into this. I didn't even really think about water, but I found that whole process fascinating, and the amount of thought and effort that goes into that is really incredible and impressive.
It is a good question, one to certainly be concerned about, and good to ask those questions. I know Tim Warner was on the show not too long ago and talked a little bit about, I know that the lead and stuff like this is something that he's passionate about getting rid of. But if you have a question specifically about your house, especially a line might be running there, the water department number is 219-326-9540. You can probably call Tim and talk to him specifically.
And they'd be happy to come out and test it for you if you're concerned.
Yeah, but I do know that he did mention they're planning on doing a lot of remediation of the lead water pipes, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right, we've got Tim Franke, City Council President here in LaPorte, and Selah Brooks, member of the Diversity and Inclusion Committee here in LaPorte as well on the show. If you have a question, 219-362-0522. Let's get to one caller before our break. Hey, thanks so much for listening to the show. I appreciate you. What's your question for Tim and Selah?
Hi, this is Esther Stiles.
Hi, Esther.
Thank you guys for having the show. I'm curious to know if the commission is planning any kind of initiatives around just opportunities, I guess, for the community to learn about the various communities that we have within LaPorte, such as like some kind of cultural festival or learning opportunities, training, anything like that.
Good question, Esther. Thanks so much for listening. Thanks for calling. So is there anything to essentially, I think if I can clarify some of that, to celebrate the diversity, again, we used to have the Polish festival, these kind of things where you celebrate a specific group of people, but everyone gets to go, right? You get to eat Polish food, these kind of things. Is there any of that planned by the city or any kind of goals for that?
So I know this is something that we touched on a little bit. Currently, right now, we don't have, certain things planned. Like I said, being a fairly new board, but we do have some ideas about, having an open house, where people can be able to come and we can, learn about one another's cultures, ask different questions, because everything comes back to educating people. But I do think that's a good idea. And, everything that we hear, we try to bring it up to one another so it can get voted on and talked about. But I think that'd be a good idea moving forward.
It'd be cool to have like a cultural food truck night or something, something like that.
And I know the commission has discussed setting up booths at Sunflower Fair and different events like that as well. And the commission does have a budget, so they've got some money they can put towards, whether, and that's entirely up to the commission, not me, but I would think creating some informational brochures and different educational pieces would be great. And, hopefully at some of these city events in the near future, we see more representation.
And again, always one of those things to encourage. If you have an idea, go to a meeting, right? When does the? I know you just met last night, but what is the third or fourth?
So we typically meet the last Thursday every month. So and we want more people in the public giving ideas, because it most definitely helps. So if you guys are interested, last Thursday every month, City Hall.
And I know
5 p.m.
emails and stuff like that are on the website as well. So if you want to contact one of the members, you could. All right, we're going to take another break here, our final break of the day on today's Sound Off Show. We've got Tim Franke and Selah Brooks on the show. If you've got a question about the City of LaPorte, for the City of LaPorte president or a member of LaPorte's Diversity and Inclusion Committee, you're welcome to call in or text me, 219-362-0522. You can email me at soundoff@967theeagle.com. We're going to take another quick little break, our final one of the day, and we'll be right back here on 96.7 The Eagle.
Ben Conowitz here, owner of LaPorte Seamless Gutter. My parents started LaPorte Seamless Gutter in 1982 with one goal in mind, really. Our customers' 100% satisfaction. And we are still providing the same customer service that Tim and Seal Conowitz started all those years ago. Give us a call today for a free estimate at 219-362-9972, or you can visit us on the web, www.lpseamless.com. 219-362-9972.
Stuck in a job that sucks? Here's another job opportunity from HometownNewsNow.com.
Howmet Aerospace is wrapping up for a comeback in LaPorte with open interviews being held August 4th and August 18th. They're seeking candidates for employment in a variety of production, maintenance, and welder positions. Open interviews will be held from 7 a.m. till 9 p.m. and 2 to 4 p.m. Howmet Aerospace, where your career takes flight.
This has been a Jobs Spotlight Extra. Look under Hot Topics at hometownnewsnow.com for job details.
Hey, have you heard that Castle Ford in Michigan City is now your commercial vehicle center? If you're looking for a truck that works as hard as you do, then visit Castle Ford's Commercial Vehicle Center. From vans and passenger wagons to pickups and cutaways, Castle Ford in Michigan City has a tough and rugged vehicle that can meet your needs. Rough credit or no credit? Ford Credit provides flexible solutions to help get you the commercial truck financing you deserve. Visit CastleFordMichiganCity.com to view inventory and get financed.
2-6 Motors and O'Brien's Battery and Tire have merged. And what does this exciting news mean for you? It means lower wait times and faster turnaround. And it also means that O'Brien's Battery and Tire is in need of a few great technicians to add to their already knowledgeable garage staff. If you have your poop together, and yes, we said poop because we can't say the other word, call or stop by O'Brien's Battery and Tire, your one-stop automotive and diesel center at 3782 North Wozniak Road in Michigan City.
Who appreciates the value of an Ivy Tech Community College Associate degree? Well, the state's largest colleges for starters. Over 20 have partnered with us in our Guaranteed Admissions program, where an Ivy Tech Associate degree guarantees admission to their bachelor's degree program. Who else? The 70,000 plus high school students each year who earn college credit in high school and save on tuition by doing it. But as valuable as an Ivy Tech degree is, the real value lies in the better life it makes possible. Let's get started today at ivytech.edu.
Life is full of unexpected ups and downs. Your garage door shouldn't be one of them. But when it does happen, don't panic. MC Doors same-day service is here for you. For over a quarter century, homeowners and businesses throughout Northwest Indiana and Southwest Michigan have trusted locally owned and operated MC Doors. Not only for the unpredictable emergency, but also for professional garage door sales, service, and installation. Check out mcdoors.com for more information.
Looking for a hard-to-find item you can't find in the stores? Maybe you'd like to sell a few items you no longer use or need. Maybe you're looking for help around the house or yard. Tradio is the answer. Every weekday following your 9 a.m. news, join Joe Happel and Jeff Wugazer for Tradio on 96.7 The Eagle. It's your time to call the Liquor Vault on-air lines at 362-0522 to buy, sell, and trade just about anything, even those hard-to-find items. Tradio, brought to you by Sowers Buick GMC and by Lighthouse Estate Management. Join us for Tradio, weekdays from 9:06 a.m. until 10 on 96.7 The Eagle.
Let's look at the forecast at 96.7 The Eagle, brought to you by the Pink Sheep Children's Boutique.
The charming and affordable Pink Sheep Children's Boutique has so many fun themes and styles for boys, girls, and moms. Come see for yourself. The Pink Sheep Children's Boutique, 604 Lincoln Way in downtown LaPorte.
Michiana weather.
Partly cloudy this afternoon with highs around 76. Winds out of the northwest, 8 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, lows around 57. High of 81 tomorrow. From the Weather Center at hometownnewsnow.com. Right now, 75.
Your opinion matters. We invite you to share it by calling or texting the Liquor Vault on-air line at 362-0522. That's 362-0522. Now, back to Sound Off on 96.7 The Eagle.
Welcome back, friends, to our final segment of today's Sound Off Radio Show. We've got Tim Franke, LaPorte County President of the City Council, Pro Tem, and also Selah Brooks, who is a member of LaPorte's Diversity and Inclusion Committee. I'm so glad to have you with us on the show today. If you guys have a question, you're welcome to call or text me, 219-362-0522. I'd be happy to hear from you. Here's a question we received online. I want to know when we take care of the population that already lives here instead of trying to import people from other counties and states. We can't afford the infrastructure we have now. How do we plan on paying for the next infrastructure we build? We take a ride around the east end of town. Tell me we take care of the locals. So I think this question is largely part of this idea of annexation, right? Growing the city, these kind of things. The mayor and the city council have said, get to 30,000 by 2030, these kind of things. What do you say about people that say they're concerned when we see infrastructure problems, when we see these kind of things that it looks to them like the city can't handle those things? How are we going to handle 8,000 more people and maybe more space?
Sure. Great question. And, I get where that question is coming from. But right now, it's about doing the best we can with what we have, which isn't a whole lot, and that is why we need to grow. You know, when we're growing, you're growing the tax revenue and you're able to do more things. However, I will stand behind, our administration and the things we've been able to accomplish with what we have. And I think anywhere you look, you see improvements and progress being made. And Healthcare Foundation has been a great partner with that. And we've had other local organizations stepping up because, again, our budget is so small. And I think it's, in business, I always look at it like if you're not growing, you're dying. And I think the same applies here. You can't just sit stagnant and have the same revenue and expect to change, and especially a change for the better.
Is the revenue in the city of LaPorte, tax revenue, is it going up? Is it going down? I mean, how does a city increase revenue other than maybe, increase its tax base, right? Or increase property home values, these kind of things. Are both of those things happening or what,
Yeah, I think there's some. I mean, there's been the whole snafu at the county level with the auditor's office. And so our numbers aren't quite there for last year yet because of that, but I can't imagine we don't see some growth in this past year. And aside from that, I mean that's certainly the biggest factor in terms of growing the revenue and the things that you're able to make improvements on, because now you have that additional money to do it with. But also, once you get to a certain population size, then you'll qualify for more grants, whether it's at the state or federal level, so you can bring in additional money that way as well. Growth is good. I'm from LaPorte. I grew up here. I love LaPorte, and I'm raising a family in LaPorte. I certainly love the people of LaPorte. All of my best friends are from here, and I don't want to take away from that. But growth is good.
I'm going to ask both of you guys this question as we're almost done with the show today. We've got City Council President Tim Franke and Selah Brooks, who's a member of the Diversity and Inclusion Commission here in LaPorte. We're the hospital, the old hospital, is going to get torn down real soon here, probably any week. I know they're already working on it. I know Pavey is working on taking out some of it, and then there's a bigger contractor that'll probably take the big parts of it down. But we should be seeing that pretty soon.
I think inside work's being done right now. They found some asbestos and some other stuff that they had to handle.
They got to do parking lot, these kind of things where they got to take out. What I want to know from you two, again, City Council President, but also a member of the community, what do you think should go there? What would you like to see in that space? It is a prime part of our real estate, right? It is downtown. You typically don't get that much acreage downtown, right? That can be redeveloped, re-envisioned. What would you guys like to see in there, you think?
Let's start with Selah.
There's no bad ideas here.
Okay, because I was going to say, man, being 23, I might have some different ideas than other people.
This is why I want to hear it.
But my first thing is, hook us up with a second dual immediate office. I want one of those. Okay, I want a nice.
Can we get a new radio station as well over there?
Yeah, man. I want a desk by the window. Okay, I'm gonna have to make some demands. But I mean, honestly, I need some shopping. You know what I mean? I need some kind of shopping. I'm tired of going to the outlet mall. I'm out there when it's raining and I get wet. I'm hot. You know what I mean? I'm bald head, so you see the sweat beads dripping down my head. Get us some HC shopping, maybe a Kohl's, a Macy's. I'll even be happy with a Ross. I've found some nice dress shirts for $15 or less at Ross. So hook us up one of those. I'll be happy. No complaints.
All right, can you make that happen, Tim Franke?
No.
Okay. Well, it's I found that it's good to shatter dreams quickly. So
and not sugarcoat it. But in my opinion, yeah, shopping would be great. Talk to Bert Cook. I'll give you his cell phone after. I'd recommend calling him after hours. He loves that. But with that particular plot of land being downtown, I would hate to see, some kind of big box store going there. I think there's much better uses you could have. I love green space, and I mean, our parks are phenomenal as it is, and I don't know that the whole thing should be a park, but I think an ice skating rink would be an awesome addition. We tested it out with an outside company this past winter, and financially, I don't think that made sense. But I think if the city were to be able to do it themselves, then I think that could make some sense financially. And, I know my family used it a lot and I saw it being used. And I think the winter is certainly one time of the year when we're at a lack of things to do.
Yeah, the way South Bend re-envisioned Howard Park, where it allows for a ice rink in the winter, but also that space gets used for other things in the summer is a great way as well. Yeah.
And we go a few times to Howard Park a year, and I mean, you've got a great restaurant there as well, and some other use. So I think if you saw, maybe a mixed-use commercial residential, but then also included some outdoor space, whether it's an ice rink, and I don't know. I mean, I think it's still in its infancy, and this is also assuming that the hospital gives the city the land. The hospital is the owner of the land currently. I know that they've been great partners, and I certainly hope that will happen, and have no reason to believe it wouldn't, but we don't own it, so we can't control it at this point.
All right.
Do you mind if I ask you a question? What would you want to see there? No bad ideas.
No, all of these are good ideas. Honestly, I would love to make sure that whatever it is good for everyone, right? Shopping is a good thing, but also that looks good downtown, right? You don't want to just put a cheap box store building right there. You want to make sure that whatever it is looks good, that it adds to the downtown. There are things like Valpo has done, that South Bend has done, that Elkhart has done, that have really created a good space for their community gather. You just want to make sure that regardless of the demographics, regardless of the economic status, that everyone gets to enjoy it, I think. All right. Hey, thanks so much for being on the show today, guys. I'll give you the final word. Selah, what do you want people to know?
Go to Lake Fest. Enjoy yourself.
Tim Franke.
It's tough to say it better. This weekend's going to be awesome. Look at LaPorteLakeFest.com for a calendar of events, and I don't want to hear anyone saying there's nothing to do in LaPorte this weekend in particular.
And I'll be at the final shows for Matilda this weekend at the Little Theater. You come see Dennis. He'll be broadcasting today at Lake Fest. Our own Rick Anthony will be there tomorrow. Come say hi to our team as well. Hey, be good to yourself. Be good to others. On Monday, I'm going to have Earl Cunningham, County Council member, on the show. Keep listening to 96.7 The Eagle.